Now, if this is anything like a Citroen normally is, oh, it is. Right, so, oh, there is, that wire is clipped in there. Now, on many cars you would label all the connectors, but on modern cars, they only tend to fit one way, so you can't really get it wrong. So that being the case, I shall just tuck that out of the way. Now, if this is anything like a Citroen normally is, oh, it is. Look at that. Behold the gearbox. That's not bad, actually. I think if I take the battery tray out, I think that would be worthwhile, because it would just give me a bit more. It will just give me a bit more wiggle room. Many would wonder why I would do that. I shall show you what we have so far. So we have battery tray here, and there's the quick release battery clamp, which is quite sticky and quite oily, but basically you turn it 90 degrees and lock the battery in. The airbox went here. That's the intake to the airbox, so that comes from underneath the car somewhere, gives it a bit of fresh air, or if you drive through a flood, water. That's the intake there to the inlet manifold. The lower intercooler hose is here, the big fat snake down the bottom. So basically all that's happening is the turbo is spooling and creating boost, and that's going into the engine, but before it does, it comes out of the turbo through that pipe, which goes under the gearbox. We'll have to remove that, and up through the intercooler with air blowing on it from the front here. Sorry, I've just smashed you into the ground. Air blows into it and it cools the air down that comes out the other end, so the air gets cooled before it goes into the engine, giving you a more efficient bang. The 90 horsepower one doesn't have that. Could be the difference. I imagine there must be something else, but well, there is something else, because I remapped my 90 to 120 horsepower without an intercooler, so it shows it can be done, and it drove better as well. So yeah, I think the battery tray should come out. Here we've got the ABS block behind it. Load of electronics in there up on the inner wing, hiding the strut. If you look at that strut over there, see that rust? Out there, good, wobbly finger. Yeah, that doesn't look clever. Strut tops are a thing on cars like these. I mean, they're a thing on all cars, but they're a problem on cars like these. Here we go, let's go over here for a bit. Yeah, so strut tops are a problem, commonly on XMs and Xantias, particularly on XMs and Xantias. Some C6s have suffered. Basically, the strut top there rusts away, and the strut punches its way through the bonnet, which isn't ideal, as you can imagine. So, yeah, I think battery tray out now. That's the wrong way. There we go, one of them. Ooh, that's rusty. Still got all the original thread lock on them, look. So that blue is on the thread, just to stop them vibrating loose. So I'm hoping, without too much fight, this will... It just makes sense if you can just get things out of the way. Just, you know, easily. Okay, let's see if I can... don't like C5s. I think that rest of that's going to come out when I take the arch liner out. I'll just take it out in one hit, I think. One of the things you can do is, after you've undone something, if the thread is still there, put the fixing back on it. Don't do it all the way up, just sort of push it up halfway. So there's a stud there now where I've just undone this wiring loom routing. Just put the nut back on halfway, because then you've got the right fixing in the right place and you don't lose it. I could actually remove the coolant hoses, because one of the other jobs he wants me to do is flush the cooling system. So I think it would make sense now to drain the cooling system, and then I can remove this top hose as well. And that'll give me a lot more space. Now, drawing out what's in the header tank through this vacuum bleeder here, or vacuum siphon device, it's quite clear. Doesn't appear to be a lot of antifreeze in that. I'll take out what I can through there, but the majority of it will come out through the hoses at the bottom and probably end up on the floor. And on older Citroens, obviously, you would see all the green paraphernalia under the bonnet, the green spheres, you'd see the green LHM reservoir, all the hydraulic components originally are painted green. Not in these. The spheres are grey. Although, weirdly, one of my BXs has grey spheres and they're genuine. Oh, we've emptied the bottle already. Yeah, the spheres are green in most, along with all the components. In the C5, it's an LDS system. The car doesn't have, or doesn't use LHM, as per the excellent SM and BX models, both of which are owned by legends generally. What this car has is the grey spheres. They're more of a sort of flying saucer shape than the originals. Genuine spheres on this one. It's got Citroen badges on, and that's the tank there for the suspension fluid. The fluid it uses is called LDS, which is a fluid. So the steering and suspension on the C5, C6, they don't use the pressure system that the BX's, XMs, and Sierra blah 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 use. However, the power steering fluid is LDS. It does come from the same reservoir, so the suspension and the steering do share fluid. It's a shame the brakes don't, because that would have been cool, but the brakes don't. They are completely conventional. There is a little reservoir over there full of what I imagine is quite old brake fluid. So the system on this car has a tank on the top and an electric pump underneath. So it's not a belt-driven pump. There is a belt-driven power steering pump here that takes fluid from the LDS, but otherwise it's just utterly conventional. A quick recap on where we are. You can see it's be very unfair not to keep you involved, wouldn't it? So, as you can see, you've got a bit more space here now. There's the gearbox, that kind of lump in there. Bit more room. The access isn't too bad there. It's actually pretty good from the front. So I fear the things will change when I get underneath. Here's the LDS reservoir. Someone's actually written it on there, just to make sure idiots don't put the wrong fluid in. Because I mean, who'd do that? That's the coolant there, which I've just emptied, but as you can see, being a coolant header tank, it is higher than everything else. So if you empty what's in that, you're emptying a very small percentage of what's in the actual system. The LDS tank, you have to leave the lid off. That's not a breathable cap. Well, they say they're not a breathable cap. Look. Looks like a valve to me and a hole there. Apparently they're not breathable, so you have to undo the lid to let it breathe. Otherwise, you can rupture the tank when you jack the car up and all the wheels droop. And that seems dumb to me, but apparently that's how it is. I'm not going to trial it either way. So what I'm going to do now is get underneath it, try and empty out the rest of the cooling system, pull some hoses off from underneath. And really, I'm just going around trying to make room around the gearbox, see how bad it actually is access-wise. And hopefully, it will be as kind to us underneath as it is on the top here, because this really isn't too bad. So yeah, I think up in the air, take some bits off underneath it, just get a bit more room. So I'm going to take my time. I don't know, I've never done one before. I probably never will do one again. Yeah, this is much easier than the upcoming work that I've got to do on the C6. The C6, I'm doing the same kind of job. I'm taking the gearbox off. Only the C6, there is no space here, or there, or anywhere under the bonnet. It's just packed. It's just stuff absolutely everywhere. And that's going to be horrible. So, up in the air we go. Talk among yourselves. So, yeah, this is... Yeah. That front bumper isn't actually fully connected. I get to use one of my really cool tools. I love this. Look at that. Trim clip tool. Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. Oh, and it doesn't fit. Oh, it does just about. God, these are. Oh, this is going to let go in a big way. Wow. If only the dashboard was built that well. It didn't actually come apart. I mean, that's a rivet. That's supposed to pull out of that plastic body, and when it does, this bit round here contracts. So the idea is you put... Christ, look at that. The idea is when you... Yeah, look, wow. You put the female bit in the hole first, and then when you push the male bit in, this bit expands and locks it in place. There you go. It does come out. Should twist it a bit. God. Yeah, there you go. So there's the female bit. And at the moment that is springy, so that would push into the hole, and then this pin goes in the end of it, and you push that in, and it causes the rivet end to splay open and locks everything in place, except when it doesn't. These are, again, these have probably never been out. No, that one went even further. As soon as it goes, you have to listen for the first bang. Where does it land? And the stupid thing is you can't twist them when they're in there because they're tight, because they're locked into whatever they're locked into. But again, that recycle and reuse where possible. There we go. So, there's more. This front bumper, I mean, I might as well take this front bumper off now, because, you know, I could do with more junk laying around the place. As you can probably tell, I haven't got enough. The front bumper is one of the jobs the new owner has asked me to sort out. He saw the front bumper on the pictures when the car arrived, and he wept. A rusty screw inside a rusty captive nut. This can only go one way, and that way is complete failure. Oh no, I think it's going. Go on, go on. I would never in a million years guess that that would have come undone. Whoa. Can you see how eaten that is? Cecily, I take my hat off to you. I used to call this car Nobbo because the number plate was N, and then you forget the other bits to make it fit your narrative. OBO. Oh, well, there's a different screw here. Someone has been in here because there's a wood screw in this side. Obviously. This doesn't have headache written all over it. I mean, it's a flathead screw. The person who invented... Oh. Person who invented flathead screws. Ah, there's that air intake. Oh, that's long. This is just... One of the advantages of an old French car is that people don't really pay much attention to them. So when they go into garages, the mechanics don't like them. And they don't look after them, and they don't do things properly, and they kind of half-ass stuff a bit. And that means that when it comes to taking it apart, it's a bit quicker than it should be. Another clip. Well, that one's gone. That one came out at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I think things have re-entered orbit slower than that. So there's the front part of the arch liner. I need to get a different camera lens. I don't know anything about camera lenses. Bit of the arch liner out there, and everything is just so crudely held in. It's not good. But it does make it easy to work on. Oh, there's a connector there, and someone's chopped 2 wires in it. That's always a good sign. Right, where's my pinging tool? I don't even think it's going to fit this one. Oh, there we go. Oh, this clip's coming undone. Oh, because it's broken. That's good. There we go. It's just... I think I'm just going to have to be a bit more brutal with those. There we go. And that isn't broken. Look at that. How cool is that? Little... I wonder what that's for. supposed to be like that. It's not broken. Right. There's the air intake, which is wrapped in what looks like a carrier bag. Let's just see if I can get this clip out, because then that's... God, that is... Bloody hell. There's another one of these rivet clips. It doesn't want to come out. I think I'm going to have to sacrifice that one. He's fighting till the last and make his mother proud. Unfortunately, my friend, your job description was to come undone when required. God, bloody hell. That is a strong clip. That is probably stronger than some of the metal brackets on this car. Oh, there you go. He relented. There we go. Fine, there's another one on it. Oh, no, there we go. Yay! Now the giant sock is off. So I can remove the battery tray, if I can get to it. Just about. Oh, how was that for an air intake? Look at that. Right, there we go. There's some decent room in there. There's, yeah. That's not bad at all. There's decent space there. And that bumper coming off is just worthwhile anyway. But now the problem I've got is... how to get this screw out. So basically on the, it's going to take me a lot longer doing this job if I keep stopping to tell you stuff, but that's the normal screw, which is a kind of a Torx, and that's typical of Peugeots and Citroens. They like those, and to be fair, they work alright, they're not too bad. But on this side, someone's fitted a flathead screw with what looks to be a penny washer, and it's... oh, I think it might undo. I can promise you now, this isn't going back in. Oh, good go, it's come undone. The guy who's bought this car is the sort that would go to Citroen and buy the original. My God, what the hell? Oh yeah, we're well into bodge territory now. Look at that. It wasn't actually a screw, but it's a bolt, technically. Look at that, and there's a big chunk cut out of it. And this plastic. I mean, that's basically, yeah. The place for this to go is the bin, like that. So, it's a reverse of the other side. So I've got two more hateful clips to remove. Oh no, I haven't, because one of them's missing. Completely different clips on this side. I can only imagine someone's been... oh, and cable ties as well. I can only imagine someone's been in on this side and they've done some work on it in the past. Probably the cam belt, I would think, because you have to take this off to do the cam belt. So I'm guessing whoever's done the cam belt was... I mean, what's actually holding that front bumper on? Cecily, you poor machine. Oh, that's not held in at all. That's excellent. So there's one clip holding that in. I love it when this happens. You just look at something and it falls off, and you're like, great. It's so much easier to get that off. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have to put that back on. It's going to be me. There we go. One of the things that the new owner wanted me to look at was the way the front bumper was hanging off. Well, all the clips along here, they're just shattered and broken. So I think creative with a glue gun, I think. Try and repair that bumper. But that's all that's holding the bumper on now, I think, are the 2 screws at the top. The access in here is actually really good. So with the bumper off, I have to take a bumper off to do a clutch. It's ridiculous. But because it was already hanging off, and because I've already done that, and it'll give me more access in here to get to drive shafts and whatnot. It's going to need new brakes as well, because I'm pretty sure Ian's videos said it needed new brakes. But yeah, I mean, the gearbox is there. So this is... it's worthwhile. It's not hard to get that bumper off. I may have just ballsed up the filming and missed the bit where I took the front bumper off, but actually it wasn't that difficult. Missing one of these on this side, I'm assuming, and that would be quite important because the wind will push against the bumper there and that would keep it from rattling. So these fixings here I'm going to reward with oil, and later on they will be rewarded with a session with a tap and die because they came undone. And I'm very impressed by that. They will go back together with grease. Enjoy your soak in that, you've earned it. Your watch has not ended. So yeah, it's basically no, there's good access here. This is good. You can see loads there. Oh wow, look at the intercooler. Well, that's going to have been costing it some pennies. I'll show you. Pennies? Ponies. Or we could stick it on the dyno, couldn't we, and roll and road it? Shall we? That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Maybe not now. So yes, I think the thing to do now... well, I'll tell you what. That whole panel comes out as well. And that would give you so much room to take the engine out.